What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, hello and welcome to Throwback Thursday. This is a series on my channel that I started as a way to get some use out of the older eyeshadow palettes in my collection. So the way this works is every Sunday I post a bonus video right here on my channel with the footage of me going through my entire collection and pulling the 4 palettes that y'all will have to choose from. From there, I post a poll over my community section with the names and pictures of each of the palettes. I give y'all a few days to vote, and that brings us to today. Now, since it is October, we are playing with spooky palettes all month long. So far, we have played with Strange and Unusual from Bella Beauty Bar and Devour from Unearthly, but our winner this week comes to us from Ensley Rain and is none other than the Twisted Tea Party palette. I'm really excited about this one. I was actually kind of low-key rooting for it just a little bit because it's very new in my collection. I've never played with it before. I longed for this palette since it was released. I convinced myself I didn't need it, and finally I picked it up, and I'm so glad I did because this is absolutely beautiful. So I'm really excited to create a look with this one today. Now, I will have this palette as well as everything else that I use in today's video listed and linked down below in the description box. So per usual, if you're ever curious about anything I use in any of my videos here on my channel, always check the description box because I squeeze as much information as I possibly can into that tiny little space. But without further ado, let's go ahead and zoom in, prime my eyes, and get to creating our look. Alright, y'all, let's go ahead and dive in and start creating our look with this palette. Now, as much as I want to play with the pinks and purples in here, I think I'm actually going to go for this little grungy section over here. I feel like it's kind of the oddball of the palette, and I'm feeling the whole fall grungy vibe today. Now, I have already gone ahead and primed my eyes with my MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly per usual. So we're going to go ahead and start this look off with this orange shade down here. This one is called Surreal. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that one up with my BK Beauty 201 brush. And I'm going to start by putting this in the crease of my lid. So I'm just going to kind of start by fluffing it in there. I'm not going to pack it down first. I want to kind of have not like a light wash of this shade, but I really kind of want to blow it out a little bit. I'm not trying to get the full impact of the color. And then once I have that down, I'm going to bring it down onto my lower lash line as well. Now, like I said, this is a new palette to my collection. I remember when this one released, but I didn't realize that it was an October release. I completely forgot that this was Ensley Rain's October like spooky season palette for last year. So I was really excited whenever I looked it up and saw that because it meant I got to pull it into the rotation for this month. And like I said, I was rooting for it. I haven't played with it yet. I think the color story in here is beautiful, but it's also intriguing because like I said, you've got this really bright, colorful half of the palette, and then you have this really fun like grungy section over here that we're playing with. And Ensley Rain has such a beautiful matte formula. I feel like it's really comparable to the one from Bella Beauty Bar. My only complaint with Ensley Rain is they like to do a lot of textured shimmers in their palettes. Bella Beauty Bar does too, but I feel like Ensley Rain does a lot more, and they don't like to always give a lot of lightness to their palettes. I feel like some of them are very kind of like one tone, although we have been getting a little bit more variety in their palettes lately. So like I said, I'm going to bring that down onto my lower lash line as well, just kind of fluffing it all the way across over to the inner corner, but I'm not going to quite bring it in to the inner corner. I think I want to leave that open for one of the shimmer shades just to give a little twinkle on that inner corner. Alright, so next we're going to go into this grungy green shade right here, which is called Teacup, and I'm going to pick that one up with my BK Beauty 206 brush, and I'm going to start to put this in to the outer corner of my lid. Now, Ensley Rain actually just came out with what I feel like is a part 2 to this palette. It's called something Underworld. I can't remember the name of it. It's a very dark leaning palette. I actually skipped out on that one just because, I don't know, the color story wasn't really calling to me. I saw a lot of swatches of the shimmers, which are absolutely beautiful, but the mattes just didn't really pull me in. So I'm not going to have that one on my channel. I do think it's really pretty. It would probably be a really good companion to this, but there's just so much coming out right now that you kind of have to pick and choose. And since I wasn't over the moon when I saw that color story come out, I decided to go ahead and pass on it. Now, does that mean I'll never pick up the palette? No. I mean, 100% I could somewhere down the line decide to grab it if it goes on sale or something, but I don't know, it's just not my favorite color story. But let me know down below if you picked up that palette, if you have this one, or what your favorite palette is from Ensley Rain. I think my favorite one as of now is still the, Lands of Enchantment palette, that really pretty pastel one that they came out with like last winter, and we've actually played with that one already on my channel for a Throwback Thursday. I just love the color story in that one. I think it's so beautiful, and I'm actually really excited to kind of bring that one back out more this winter, even though I've already played with it. Who says you can't play with a palette twice in a Throwback Thursday video? Now I'm going to go ahead and bring this down onto the outer portion of my lower lash line as well, and once I have everything where I want it, I'm going to go back with that first shade called Surreal, that really pretty orange shade, and I'm just going to kind of buff everything out, kind of blend the lines, make sure that we don't have this harsh line that's going on right now. Now I could leave that as is, but I like everything to be nice and blended. I don't like to have harsh lines. I like to have as much of a blend as I can possibly get. Like I said, I'm going back with that shade called Surreal, same brush that I already used. I picked up the tiniest amount of product, and I'm going in very lightly handed right along the edges of the shade Teacup that we just put down. And you see how I'm getting a softer blend over here than what I have going on over here? This is what I'm looking for. These shades aren't going to blend into each other 100%. I know that. If I go in too heavy handed, it'll start to mud out and look really bad, but I can definitely soften it up and just have it blend a little bit more seamlessly than what I already had going on, and that's what I'm going for. All right, so next I'm going to go into this black shade over here called Rabbit, and we're going to deepen up this outer corner just the slightest little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this shade up with a Morphe M506 brush. I'm going to go in very lightly handed, and I'm just going to tap it right here on the outer corner. I do this a lot with my look, so if you've been here, if you've watched my videos, you already know what I'm going for. But if you're new here and you're catching this one, I love to have this little bit of depth in my outer corner. I'm not trying to have this black shade take over the entire look. I just want to have this tiny little bit out here, so I just kind of pack it on right where I want it, and once I have it down, I can go back with swirling motions and start to kind of blend that shade out and just make sure it's nice and seamless, and it's just going to give me that little bit of depth. Now if the look starts to get away from you and you're like, oh, I put too much black down and I need to kind of rectify it, you can go back in with the last brush, the last shade, and just kind of lightly go over top and sort of like sweep towards the inside to blend everything back out. But you see how that gave just a little bit more dimension over here compared to over here? That's all I'm looking for with this. All right, so I think we're gonna leave the mattes where they are. I'm really loving the blend that I have. I'm loving the fall vibe that I have going on my lids. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to shimmer. So I'm gonna go ahead and prime my lid with my NYX Glitter Primer. I use this every single time I use a shimmer, whether I apply it with a finger, apply it with a brush, whatever I do, I always use this. It gives me a good tacky base. I don't ever experience a lot of fallout, creasing, or anything like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this to both of my lids where I wanna put the shimmer, and then we'll pop into shimmers. Now, speaking of fall, I'm excited because I woke up this morning and we got a nice little cool front here in Texas, at least down here in South Texas we did. I'm in Houston, so I'm not like super south, but I am pretty close to the Gulf, and it stays hot, it's humid, it's disgusting. I cannot stand the hot weather, which is ironic because I've lived here my whole life, but I got up this morning and it felt so good outside. Katie, my dog, which is back over here sleeping, she's in every video. She was all over it. We have a high of like 77 today, and it's supposed to be down in the 50s at night. I know that's not super cold to anybody living up north, but down here that is a huge deal, and it's starting to feel like October outside. But let's go ahead and pop into shimmer. So I think what I want to do is, I'm kind of torn between these two right here. I want to put this one in my inner corner. I think that one's going to be really pretty. It's got this little bit of a pink flip to it, so I think it's going to be a fun little pop. But for all over the lid, I'm deciding between these two right here. This one has like this really pretty like orange to green flip to it, and then this one looks like it's gonna have a little bit of a chunkiness to it. It's got like more of a green to gold shimmer. But let's go ahead and swatch them out. I don't always do this, but I do when I'm having a hard time kind of deciding where I want to go. So this is the shade, what is this called? Muckness right here. This is the first one that has like that really smooth texture to it, and look at how gorgeous that is. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at all the pretty shifts that it has, the green to the gold, stunning. And then the other one that we have is called Hysterical Hatter, and this is the one that has a little bit more texture to it, but it does smooth out really nicely, and that one is really pretty as well. You can see that one has a little bit more of like a turquoisey to a yellow flip to it, but which one do I want to do? I'm kind of thinking we're gonna go with this one right here. I don't usually like a sort of textured or flaky shimmer. I usually go for the more smooth ones, but there's something about the shift in that one that I really like. So that's the one that we're gonna go for. And that one is called Hysterical Hatter. It's this one right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up with my BK Beauty 203. I have found this to be the best brush for applying shimmers all over the lid. I have been a finger girly for the longest time because I couldn't ever find a brush that just picked up the shimmers the way I wanted to and applied them. And I did it one day because I had really, really long nails on and I just couldn't get into that inner portion. So I picked up this brush, used it. I haven't looked back since, y'all. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and pick that shade up on this brush called Hysterical Hatter, and then we're gonna spray it with some MAC Fix Plus, and we're going to apply this to all over the lid. Now I'm gonna start by kind of pressing it where I want it, and then once I have that shade down, I can go back and start to blend along the edges. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit more on my brush, and we're just gonna apply it all over the lid. That is very beautiful. I will say I noticed that the chunkier shimmers, if you apply them with a brush, they don't pick up quite as chunky and you can get a little bit more smoothness out of them. But if you're going for that texture, definitely pick it up with your finger. Okay, so for the inner corner, we're gonna go into this shade right here, which is called Distorted Dream. I'm gonna go ahead and do a swatch real quick on the back of my hand, and then we'll pick it up with a brush and pop it in the inner corner. But look at how beautiful that is. I love the shifts on that shade. It is absolutely incredible. And that's one of the things I do love about Ensley Rain. As much as I'm not a fan of their chunkier shades, the shifts are always absolutely beautiful. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick that shade up with a Singe Beauty EO1 brush, and once again I am going to spray it with some MAC Fix Plus, and we're just going to pop this right here on the inner corner of my lid, and I'm going to kind of bring it down a little bit onto my lower lash line, blend it up into this little portion on my lid right here, and then we'll go ahead and finish off this look. Alright y'all, so this is the completed look, and I think this turned out absolutely beautiful. Never in a million years I think that this would be the first look that I would create with this palette. I should have gone in with the pinks and the purples and done something bright and fun, but I love that I changed it up and got this absolutely beautiful kind of fall grunge look. It really speaks to the versatility of this palette, and it makes me super excited to keep playing with this one and creating more looks. But let me show you what I used to finish off this look. So let's go ahead and start with the lip combo, and then we'll move into what I have on my eyes. So to line my lips, I went in with a Lunar Beauty lip pencil. This is in the shade Cocoa. It's a really pretty deep brown. And then I went over top of everything with one of the Ace Beauté liquid lipsticks that I got in last month's Ice Cream Beauty box, I believe. This is in the shade Ambition, and I love this lip combo. I think it looks so pretty and it's so comfortable on the lips. But to line my lid and go into my lower waterline, I went in with one of the NYX Beetlejuice Pinstripe Duo Liners. This is in the shade Green Chrome. And then I finished everything off with my Huda Beauty One Coat Wow Mascara. Alright y'all, so that is going to complete this week's Throwback Thursday video. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Which palette did you vote on? What did you think of the look? And as always, if there's a particular palette that you want to see featured in my Throwback Thursday video, leave it down below in that comment section. I am more than happy to pull it if I have it in my collection. But let's have that conversation, light up that comment section, and as usual, I want to thank you all so much for watching my video and spending your time with me. It truly does mean so much to me. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every single week, and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one. Bye.